Hello, guys. Hello, hello. Well, I am really excited. I like the fact that when I hit the go live button, I actually go live. My computer is working, my internet is working, and I absolutely love it. So, I don't usually go live in our group, but I was typing up a big old thing on cholesterol because we have to understand what the deal is with cholesterol so we actually know what we need to do with our body, right? So, I thought it was taking me forever to type it up because it's so much information. So hang on, I'm putting on some oil. I'm putting on energy right now. Anyways, I was typing everything up and getting more and more annoyed because I always do when this topic comes up. And I'm like, there's actually so many other little bibbits and things that we don't get to talk about very often. So I'm just going to talk about overall some of the things. One of the books I want you to grab is The Great Cholesterol Myth. So I want you to understand cholesterol is your friend. No matter what you have seen, no matter what you have read, you have to understand that your body, with its innate intelligence, makes cholesterol. So even if you go on a really low cholesterol diet and you take a medication that helps to lower your cholesterol and you do all the things, your body is still going to make all the cholesterol it needs because it's its job. Your beautiful liver literally creates and makes cholesterol because cholesterol does all kinds of things. Can we just start with the fact that it feeds your brain? Like your brain is a fatty organ and it needs cholesterol. Number two, the other thing that cholesterol does is it is the precursor to every single steroid hormone. So every steroid hormone, what's a steroid hormone? A steroid hormone is things like your estrogen and your progesterone and your testosterone. Is it any wonder that men's testosterone is so low? Like there's all kinds of things against you. There's all kinds of things that are lowering testosterone, but then they give you a cholesterol lowering drug that lowers your testosterone even more and it causes all kinds of problems. One of the things that happens when testosterone goes low, your memory. Like you send your husband to the store to get something and he can never remember what he went there to get. Is that low testosterone going on? I mean, there's other stuff too. But testosterone is what feeds our muscles, keeps our muscles strong and healthy, right? It's what makes us be able to build muscles. Friend, your heart is a muscle. When testosterone goes low, your heart struggles. So that the fact that your body is making that was a car that went by, is making cholesterol is because your heart needs it, your muscles need it, your brain need it to make and repair cells, DNA throughout your body. Cholesterol goes in and it repairs veins. Oh my gosh. So when people look at, because the studies that they did that said, oh, all these people that had a heart attack, they got all kinds of plaque in their veins, plaque in their heart. It's the plaque that's causing it. That's kind of like saying every time there's a fire, when you look around, you'll see firemen that are there. Oh my gosh, firemen must be the cause of the fire. No, the firemen are there to put out the fire. The cholesterol is there to repair, to rebuild, to do the things. I'm just saying, there's little bibbits and things that are missing in our diet, but cholesterol isn't the problem. Cholesterol is your friend. Cholesterol that is out of control. Do you know that? But if you go back in the Wayback Machine, and you go back 30 years ago, wait, what year are we in now? If you go back maybe 40 years ago, average cholesterol was 3 to 400. That was normal cholesterol. Nobody worried about it. They didn't start worrying about it until they came up with a drug that could artificially lower it. I want you to put that math together because now they're saying that we need to have our cholesterol in the hundreds. I don't even know what it is anymore. It's like 180, 150, I think it is, that they want the cholesterol to be at. But back in the olden days, we didn't have nearly the amount of heart disease and cholesterol was higher than that because cholesterol builds your body. I'm just saying. Hi, Susan. Oh, thank you. I'm just saying, cholesterol is your friend. Can we also, I know I did a little bit on salt and sodium and the difference between the two of them, but salt is a necessary element. Your body absolutely, positively has to have sodium. It has to. There's an RDA. An RDA is a recommended daily allowance, which is 2,300 milligrams, that you have to have. Anytime they give us an RDA, it says that this particular nutrient, without it, you're going to have problems. Okay? Salt is your friend. I'm sorry, sodium is your friend, but we need good things. We need like Celtic sea salt. We need Himalayan sea salt. We need any good salt that has all of its ionic minerals in it. So we don't want the table salt is a bleached product that they add an anti-caking agent into so it can actually sprinkle. Actually, again, if you go back in the Wayback Machine, salt was always something that sat out and you did a pinch. All of the recipes were a pinch of it because real sodium, real salt that we're supposed to cook with will absorb moisture and it's part of its job. And we sprinkle it, and it had all this other stuff with it. All these impurities is what they called them, but those impurities were all of those minerals that our body needs. We need all of those pieces for that sodium to be able to be absorbed inside the body. We need them. And if you go back in the Wayback Machine, when it rains, it pours. The salt, the Morton's girl with the little thing, her little umbrella. Do you guys even remember that? That was a thing. When it rains, it pours, because the salt you could just shake. You could put it in a salt shaker. Salt shakers were not a thing before they went and they took all of the other minerals out. When they took all the other minerals out, the sodium stopped doing what it was supposed to do and it didn't have all the stuff. As a matter of fact, it happened so quickly that goiters, which happen to the thyroid when you don't get enough iodine, it happened so fast that they had a hard time getting some of the during, I think it was World War One, it might have been World War Two, but they were having to say no to all kinds of soldiers that they would not let them enlist because they had so many goiters. And they were, oh, we got a problem. And they said, what's the problem? Well, we changed the salt. When the salt changed, the goiters came. And their answer wasn't, well, let's go figure out what's going on. Their answer was, well, let's just add some iodine and the iodine will fix the problem because your little thyroid needs iodine. We've talked about iodine a lot. Instead, what they chose to do is they didn't research the why, because the anti-caking agent was a big part of the problem. This is why table salt is so bad. This is part of the reason why the processed foods are so bad. Like I talk about it all the time, and it's because of the salt. So what happened to the salt? When they took the minerals out of the salt, they added an anti-caking agent in. Do you know what the anti-caking agent was? It was a byproduct of uranium production. I'll say that again. It is a byproduct of uranium production. So the anti-caking agent that they put in our salt that we eat is radioactive. And our thyroid doesn't do well with radiation. And the goiters came, and the answer wasn't take the radioactive stuff out of the salt. The answer was, we'll just add some iodine. It'll be fine. We'll just add some iodine. We'll just cover a Band-Aid over it. And then they say salt is the reason you have high blood pressure. Do you understand what they're doing to us? I'm telling you, I was typing this up. I was just getting so mad because it's all stuff that I know. But when you research it again, you're like, oh, I can't believe they did this to a generation. And it wasn't just a generation. This has been like 50 years. We have been eating this radioactive salt that is put on everything. And do you know why they take the minerals out? Not just to make it poor. It's because they turn around and sell those minerals so that they can fortify food. It's like, hello, could we maybe just leave our food whole and stop messing with it? Because I get all upset about it. So again, I want to tell you, it is real salt. You need salt with all of its parts and pieces. When you look at the bag, it should tell you where they got the salt from. What lake did they get it from? What mountain did they dig it out of? Where did the salt come from? And it should say somewhere on there that it has anywhere from 60 to 80 trace minerals should be in that salt that you're using. And then, my friend, you need to let it pour. You need to make sure you're getting it under your tongue. A lot of the nausea, the fatigue, the headaches, the muscle cramps, a lot of the stuff that you might be feeling could simply be that your body needs a real source of that good sodium. Like I said, our mineral essence, our beautiful mineral essence, you guys know I love this one. You guys are right. You can't see the stuff on there. Mineral essence. I love this baby girl. She has 10 milligrams of sodium in here, but she also has all of those beautiful ionic minerals that your body simply has to have. It just has to have, because everything else will function better. So let's see, what are some of the other myths that irritate me when it comes to the heart health? That skinny people don't have to exercise. Listen, skinny people, your heart is a muscle. It needs to move. We need to be pumping our heart, and we need to exercise and we need to move. And when I say exercise, yes, I mean we should be using our muscles, all those big muscles, but we need to be doing something that gets us breathing hard. When I say I get up for 5 minutes and I move, I don't just casually saunter around. When I first started getting up and moving, because I was from wheelchair to up and walking, that was a big step for me. But now I make sure that 5 minutes I'm moving. So I am doing my little burpees, my modified burpees. I'm on a bench that I do, and I jump up and I go down and I do all the things, but then I go right to something else right afterwards, because I want to deep breathe. I want my lungs pumping oxygen to every little cell in my body. And it doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter whether you are 500 pounds, and it doesn't matter whether you're 98 pounds. We need to get in oxygen throughout the day. I know a lot of you guys are like, no, I go running in the morning. I run every single morning. Well, that's great. You still have to get up hourly and move your body. We were never created to be sedentary, ever. Like, there was never, I mean, like I said, you guys know I'm a Christian. I believe the Word of God, front page, all the way to the end, 7 days of creation, hook, line, and sinker. I buy it all, right? And we were made, created, put in the garden, and the Word literally says that we were to tend the garden. So we were supposed to be working, and we were supposed to work all day. We've got into society at some point that we should be able to just relax and do nothing. But when we do nothing, think about, you can have a beautiful vehicle, and if you just park that vehicle outside in the grass and you just leave it there and you come back a year later, that battery is going to be dead. Those tires that would still be perfectly fine had you been driving it are going to be hard, and they're going to be brittle, and you're going to have to replace the tires. These squirrels will have made little nests inside there and chewed through the wires. Our body, I don't want my wires chewed through. I don't want my wheels to be hard and brittle. We need to move, and it doesn't matter what size you are, and it doesn't matter if you run for an hour in the morning. You still need to set an intention to get up regularly and do something. And it doesn't have to be the same thing every single time. I have times where I just do some stretching, and I have times where I breathe. I'm telling you, getting my lungs, gonna make me cry. Getting my ability to breathe and to be able to function. It was so cool. I noticed the other day I had posted a picture, gosh, I don't know where, and I was on a trampoline. It was probably Facebook. And I was on a trampoline, and I noticed in the corner of that picture is my oxygen concentrator. And it's still sitting there, and it's dusty because I never have to use it now. Like, that is such a big difference. But your heart, when you're talking about your heart health, it needs you to move. It's a muscle. It has to be used on the regular throughout your day. So maybe you can't do 5 minutes every hour, which I think that's a lie you're telling yourself if you say you can't. But at least make sure you're getting up, and you should never sit still for hours at a time, watching a movie, playing a game, doing the different things. I think it's one of the worst things that you can do. Get yourself, I love my mini trampoline, y'all. I am on my rebounder a lot. And it's in our family room. So if we're watching a movie, every single time a commercial comes on, I'll get up and I'll bounce. It doesn't even have to be an hour, because you know those commercials come constantly. I just have made it a habit where I sat for so many years. I don't want to sit anymore. I want to be up. I want to do the things, because my beautiful heart, because I don't know if you guys can see, the scars are going away. I love that. So I had open heart surgery, and there's a scar from here to here, big old long scar. And because I was so sick when that happened, I actually took a fall and it split open. So it's really wide. So when you are ever close to me, you can see it's this big wide scar that's in there, and it broke one of the wires. So you can rub and you can actually feel the wires, and all of that to say that my heart, I am not on one single solitary heart medication. Nothing. Not one. My heart is perfectly perfect in every way. They just did a 30-day Holter monitor on me because they wanted to follow up and see how things are going, because I do still pass out, and we're not real sure why I'm passing out. And they thought maybe I had POTS going on, but it came back perfectly perfect in every way. Like perfectly perfect, Mary Stinking Poppins kind of perfect. But the things that I do, that cardiogize that we talk about, friend, it's food for the heart. The mineral essence, our Ninja Ride, the food for the heart, my green omega-3, food for the heart. I do two in the morning. I do two in the afternoon of my green omega-3. My Olive Essentials, y'all, that's coming up in our list of things we're going to do. Olive Essentials really helps your body have a normal, healthy inflammatory response. Like when you have heart issues, one of the things they will check is called C-reactive protein. And that tells them how much inflammation is happening in your body. And a high a CRP rate that's high tells them that you're probably having some heart issues going on. So anything I can do that can make sure that my body has healthy inflammatory response, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure. I'm going to make sure I don't eat processed foods. And I know when it comes to really making some changes, for some people, they're like, I just can't make that change. Listen, I can tell you, you cannot supplement away a poor diet. It doesn't matter how many supplements you take. If you are choosing to constantly eat those foods that you are addicted to, and it is an addiction, they literally put stuff. This we'll go on this myth too, since we're just chatting and I'm just ranting. If you go back, it's probably the 1980s. In the 1980s, Philip Morris was being sued. Gosh, somewhere around there, 1980s, 1985, somewhere in there. They were being sued. And the actual lawsuit, when you look at what was happening, they weren't so much being sued because tobacco causes cancer. That was kind of a known thing. They lied about it all the time. That wasn't the biggest deal. The biggest deal was that they were adding additives to the cigarettes, specific additives that were addictive, so that you would want it even more, so that you were craving that. Like if you usually smoked one kind of cigarette and somebody else gave you a different one, you wouldn't get the same high or good feeling that you were supposed to get, because it didn't have the same additive that made you want it more. It was the extra ingredients that they added that were making them so insanely addictive. And that was part of what was happening, what they got in trouble for. So during that same time, Philip Morris started buying food companies. They bought Kraft, they bought Lay's, they bought all of these different companies that now supply almost all of the food that you find in the store. And they took the same practices of adding those addictive substances to the food supply. So like, here's the example. If you usually eat Kraft macaroni and cheese, and that's the macaroni and cheese that you get, you are somebody that would say, it's the only macaroni and cheese. It's so good. I love it. I can't get enough of it. And it's not just one little box. They sell it in 5-packs so that you can eat 2 of those at one time. And you're getting your kids where they want that. But it's the additives that make you want it. So when you have a different brand of mac and cheese, it just doesn't hit the same. Just not as good, because of the addictive stuff that they've added. And they did this to our entire food chain. And when you really want to know what's the cause of the high cholesterol, and you're like, why is it happening? It's the sugars. It's the sugars that have created that cycle in us. And sugar, so you know, like when you talk about the addiction process, sugar impacts your neurotransmitters, your brain, just like cocaine. And it has the same addictive properties. This is why, like, if somebody decides to go keto and they get the keto flu and they just don't, that, my friend, is a detox happening, just like if you quit cocaine. Now, is it a little bit harder to quit cocaine? Probably. But is sugar more prevalent? Is it everywhere? Is it killing us? Is it destroying our cardiovascular system? Is everything else that's attached to it, the other addictive substances? Because listen, nobody gets addicted to orange juice. Or oranges, I should say, right? So you could eat oranges until you just couldn't have another orange. You could eat 4 oranges and you'll stop. But if I gave you a bag of cocaine, you'd keep doing it. If I gave you sugar, same thing. The best way that you can really understand the addictive additions that they're adding to it, the additions that they're adding to our food, is if I were to give you, okay, let's just do this. So if you're sitting there late at night and you get that craving, I want, and it's a specific something, right? When you think that, ooh, I want a Snickers candy bar. Ooh, I want a Crunch candy bar. Ooh, I want a Reese's candy bar. Ooh, I want a, it's a specific thing, right? It's not just an abstract, I want something sweet, right? Because you don't just go, ooh, I want something sweet, and then walk into your cupboard, open the cupboard, grab the container of sugar, and eat the sugar. That's never what you're doing. It's the additives that they added to those foods that have us craving them. So we want more and more and more and more until it kicks our butt, until that addiction is there. And then we wonder why we can't stop. What is wrong with me? I'm telling you, those things, you want to know the best way to handle addiction? The best way, and this is all addictions. I'm actually doing a class in White Cloud. I'm going to be in White Cloud with Carol Pierce. She's doing an event there. And part of what we're talking about is brain development. And we're going to be talking about the addiction process. And these are bits and pieces to that, because the best answer for addiction is enzymes. I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but your brain, in order to make the different neurotransmitters that give us dopamine and that give us serotonin and epinephrine and all these different neurotransmitters, all of them need an enzyme as a catalyst in order to turn itself in from one thing, from one protein. It needs an enzyme to the next protein for an enzyme, so it can make those neurotransmitters, so that your brain can give you all those good feelings and satisfy the need that you have going on. So when it comes to understanding how that process works, I'm just saying there's answers, there's things you can do. If you want information on that particular event, you can go to Shannon Hudson YL and go under in-person events. And it's like a 2-hour drive from where I am here in Grand Blanc. And then while I'm talking about stuff coming up, I'm also doing an event in Saginaw with Marty Bigger. It's another big health in-person event. So if you're anywhere in the area, come play with us. We would love to have you. You can find both of those on Shannon Hudson YL. I'm also going to be in Ohio doing an event in November, and we've got a secret, exciting event. Amazing speakers that are going to be right here in our area. We are doing it's going to be November 7th, an evening business class, then November 8th and 9th, all day long, 2 full days of hormone health. And we have got great speakers like Dr. Ali. You guys are the first people to find out that he is coming. We have got Jahan Thomas is coming. Oh, I'm just so excited. So that should show up here in the next, maybe 24 hours. I will get that out there. So you guys will be able to get up front. The people in our group are going to be able to get tickets a little bit cheaper than everybody else, but super excited. So you can go check all those things out. But anyways, that was my rant. I just had to say there's some basic things that just aren't true. Your liver will always make cholesterol to do the things that your body needs it to do. Cholesterol is the precursor to every single hormone in your body, my friend. It's not going to stop just because you take a medicine telling it to stop. That's why you can't see your numbers going down. You're like, I'm doing all the things and my numbers are still high. It's because our cholesterol is trying to fix a thing. So you got to ask yourself, why? Why is my cholesterol high? What nutrient does it need? I'm just saying. All right, you guys, I'm going to check out. This will be the post for today. Tomorrow is going to be another very exciting post on your heart. So please make sure that you comment on this and that you tell your friends. It's not one you can share because it's just in the group, because I'm ranting about stuff I might not supposed to be ranting about, but I didn't tell you anything that cures any of it. I'm just saying it's going to be great. All right. I love y'all. We'll chat later. Bye.